Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look at this Soulforge and tell you what I think is worth crafting from there. Also going to take a look in the shop and have a quick look at this weekly event Glory Troop and tell you what we think of that. Anyway, what's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Finding half a worm. Do you see? Ugh, check your apples. Right, Infernal Voyager. Convert all blue gems to skulls and gain 1 soul for each gem converted. Starts battles with full mana when you get that third trait, so a empowered troop. This sort of thing's really good for Guild Wars. Start battles with full mana. Converting colours to skulls can be really effective if you've got something like a web spinner up top, does triple damage, things like that. So yeah, really good troop that. The second part of the spell, gain 1 soul for each gem converted, is really good if you're a newer player to the game. If you convert 10 blue gems, you're going to collect 10 souls every single time you do that, and that does add up. Not so useful for the end gamer or the player that's really experienced, but hey, it's still very good. I'm going to give that a super solid 8 out of 10 because that is very effective with that start battles with full mana and converting blue at the same time. Very good indeed. Right, onto the Soulforge itself. Always remember to grab these as many as you can. I like to get these up to Mythic absolutely straight away. Then you can upgrade it, and then that's going to help your power level kingdoms in the long run. So really cool. Can always grab some spoils of war as well if you have some excess glory. 10 event keys, always handy. You never know what might pop from some of them. So definitely worth having. And a little bit of gold too, and even more souls. All right, let's take a look in the Soulforge itself then. Go over the weapons and the troops. I'm not going to go over all these weapons that are here all the time, like Eye of Xathanos, Shattered Blade, etc. They're in my Soulforge extra video, all these weapons that are here all the time. That'll be in the description below. But first up is Doomed Staff. Creates 4 yellow gems plus 1 gem per tempering level, then gives magic plus 1 armor to all red allies. If the enemy has a doom, eliminate all armor from a random enemy. The trouble is with that creating of 4 yellow gems plus 1 per tempering level is you need this on the highest level. You need to get a load of forge scrolls to get this to the highest level to make it worth casting. That lowest level without this being tempered up, it's just not going to be effective. So it's kind of okay for the creation of yellow, but the rest of the spell is a bit rubbish. Just giving armor to all red allies. You have to be using it in an all red team for a start. And if the enemy has a doom, eliminate all armor from a random enemy, which means if that random enemy is somebody you'd already hit, and taking away the armor is going to do nothing. And that's only effective if they have a doom. So yeah, not very good. Doomed Staff. Gatekeeper. Love these kind of weapons. Explodes magic plus 1 red gems. Grant a random status effect to all Daemon allies. Then summon a Daemon troop. So mana gen, status effects, and summon all in one. And if you're not ready to cast it in the game, you can always hold it in the air and use it as a makeshift small bat signal. Yeah. Right, anyway, what's next? Firestaff. That's not a hint to some of the Gems of War devs for the constant cock-ups they keep making in the game regarding bugs and stuff, but dealing magic-based damage to an enemy and deal double damage if there's a firestorm, and it creates a firestorm. So if you can get to cast this twice in succession, you'll absolutely benefit from a firestorm and do that double damage. Dawnstone and Heart of Xathanos are here all the time. Next up is Deathspire. Does damage to all enemies, boosted by all enemy towers. So a low level invasion type weapon. There's going to be better choices though than that in general. Soul Reaper. Does damage to an enemy, boosted by Blighted Lands allies. Then create a mix of 6 red and purple gems for each Blighted Lands ally. Uses yellow and brown but creates red and purple. So make sure at least a couple of your other troops in your team use red and purple to benefit from all that lovely mana, and you've got yourself a pretty decent weapon there. Scythe of the Blight. Removes all red gems with no effect, then deals magic based damage to an enemy boosted by the red gems removed. If the enemy is from Blighted Lands, or if the battle is in Blighted Lands, deal double damage. So this is what I call the anti-blighted lands. A weapon on these sort of thing, because red is the kind of colour they like the most. This doesn't use red, so you can certainly hinder the opponent with a weapon like that, if you fancy doing so. Do we have any more for any more? We have Desdemona's Bolt. Does damage to an enemy. If Desdemona is on my team, inflict 2 stacks of bleed. Meh. Collectible more than anything. Right, on to the troops. Nobody particularly special in these summoning stones ones, but you can certainly have a little look through there, see if there's anybody that you're missing. Certainly some okay ones like Moon Rabbit, another empowered troop. So have a little gander through them, see if there's anybody you're missing, and then you've got a chance to roll the dice and pick some of them up. Right, let's start from the bottom. Aquaria. Same as these, all these other ones like Zul'Goth, Enraged Kurandara, the ones that are here on a weekly basis. They're here every week, is in my Soulforge extra video. That's in the description below. Check it out if you've not seen it before and you don't know about some of these dudes. Aquaria does magic-based splash damage to 3 random enemies, boosted by submerged allies. Good and bad thing about splash damage when it's to random allies is if it hits the second or third opponents when the enemy has a full team, that's when it does the most damage. But if it decides to hit the top and bottom ones, then you're going to do less damage because you're not hitting 3 enemies anymore, you're only hitting 2. And it may not always hit the ones you actually want to hit as well. So pros and cons of that. Aquaticus is a much better troop than that all round for me. Not a huge fan of Aquaria, and Aquaticus has a much better third trait as well, that submerge all allies on a 4 match. And this one just gives 4 life to all blue allies when matching blue gems. So yeah, nothing too fantastic about Aquaria for me. Scoprio. Again, disappointing. When these celestial troops were coming out every single month, I was waiting for my one, which is this one, and I was hoping it was going to be really, really good, and it turned out not to be so. Does a decent amount of true damage to an enemy, inflicts poison and 3 stacks of bleed on them, and if they are already poisoned, there was a 50% chance to kill them. That last part is really disappointing. I think that should have been just, if they're already poisoned, there's a 100% chance to kill them. Look at the stomach like, what's his name? Scoprio. Scorpius, that's him. Scorpius. He does damage to the last 2 enemies, and if they're poisoned, they both die. This is only doing damage to 1 in the first place. And if they're already poisoned, there's only a 50% chance to kill them. That's just not balanced. I don't know. Maybe they think there's like high value in things like that Celestial Sting. If you do it in a green sort of loopy team or something. But yeah, disappointing in my star sign mythic. Vash'Dagon. Pretty fun troop this. Devours an ally, then summons a daemon if the ally is devoured. It says that because if you attempt to cast this on someone that is immune to devour, then that's not going to work. And then deals true scatter damage boosted by his life. The fact that you get that summon upon doing this is actually really cool, because it just means that Vash'Dagon gets a huge increase to his stats when that happens, because when you devour someone, you add their armor, life, and attack to your own. So yeah, pretty cool troop this, pretty fun, I like it a lot. And it has a couple of okay traits, Impervious, and Curse of Madness can be effective against certain enemies. Curse a random enemy when matching brown. And the last one is Wulfgarok. Does damage to an enemy boosted by wargear allies, and if the enemy dies, devour a random enemy. So if you can guarantee the kill on one, you are going to kill a second. Again, Impervious, a very, very good middle trait. And give 2 attack and magic to allied wargear when matching 4 or more gems is okay. More effective when you're newer to the game, less effective as you play it more and get more powerful. Alright, a quick overview on the legendaries that are here. Behemoth, fairly decent troop this still. Does normal damage to all enemies, destroy 12 gems, so damage and a little bit of mana gem. But that good set of traits. Gain 10 life on 4 or 5 gem matches. Impervious, and yeah, Siege, okay, but Impervious and Immense, pretty decent. Gloomleaf, sort of good and sort of bad. Steals magic-based armor and 5 attack from all enemies. The fact you steal the armor weakens the enemy and adds it to your own, making you stronger. The trouble with them is kind of a one-cast wonder in a way, because if you've done that a couple of times and the enemy hasn't got any more armor, it's not worth casting anymore, because that just 5 attack from all enemies is really low and not really worth it in the end. So it's kind of cool on the traits. Impervious is good, and Thorns is really good as well. Reflect 50% of skull damage. But yeah, it can be an absolute pain in first place. But yeah, you're not going to cast this more than once or twice in any match, really. So, yeah. The Noxia, very good indeed. Creates 9 green, 9 blue gems, then deals magic-based true damage to all enemies. Really, really good. Noxious Gas is the name of that spell, so who knows what that is. It doesn't say Noxious Breath, it says Noxious Gas, so that must be a mega fart. That's all I'm saying, and that is a horrible way to die. Look at the people there, they're just like being absolutely obliterated by that mega stink bomb. Whatever. Anyway, traits, okay. The second one's pretty good. Gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, because you can certainly loop with this kind of spell. And poison a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches is also okay in certain circumstances. Particularly when you want to poison somebody with a chance to kill them, like with, what's his face, the not very good Scoprio and things like that. But anyway, who else do we have? Is that it? Was there one more? No, that is it. 1, 2, 3... Oh, there's a 4th one somewhere. Oh, Essentia. Was a bit of a poor legendary for quite a long time, because its spell doesn't look that great. Summons 1 to 3 dragon spirits, and if there was already a dragon spirit in my team, explode 10 gems. That is it. But it does have the rather awesome Dragon Seer. All dragon allies start with 50% mana. Again, that wasn't a fantastic third trait until these gem dragons, and particularly Diamantina, came along, and then that actually is a bit of a game changer. If you've got Diamantina and a gem dragon, or 2 times Diamantina with Essentia and Leprechaun, for example, you've got a really, really fast Explore 9 or 10 team there, absolutely straight away. So pretty cool in those circumstances. But who gets my much coveted, not Mythic of the Week? So let's have a look. Well, it can't be you, matey, because you're just not good enough. You just chuck water at people and not much else. Vash'Dagon and Wulfgarok. Well, I think it goes to Vash'Dagon, because that is a really, really cool spell if used properly. We'll have a look at a team maybe later on in the week for that. But yeah, really cool. Devours an ally, then summons a daemon if the ally is devoured, and does true scatter damage boosted by his life, and is impervious. So very good indeed. Vash'Dagon is my Mythic of the Week. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to bash that like and subscribe button. I'm back later on with more videos today. It's Manic Monday. So much going on, it's literally manic. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.